What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into episode 54, everybody. I am your host, SleezBall. Today's episode is going to be my stardom, sit-em, running backs, every single matchup. Before we dive into it, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you hit that bell, hit that subscription button so you know when I'm going live. I will be live before the Thursday night kickoff, an hour and a half before going over start sits with everybody. I'll be live all weekend after that. So Thursday to Sunday, Monday, I'm usually streaming the whole time. If you guys want to hop in, that's greatly appreciated as well. My dog Lily is going to rock with me the whole way through the videos today. She's sleeping behind me. And so for this video, guys, as well, I like to show my transparency. So I will show my tweet from before last week as well at the beginning, to show my hits, to show my misses, to be better for you guys every single week. And if you have any fantasy football questions at all, drop them in the comments as well, guys. I am here to help you win your matchups weekly and to get you that ultimate goal of a championship. And let's dive into it here. All right, guys, so here is my board layout for week 3 running back stardom sit-ems. The top box is going to be the away team. The bottom box will be the home team. And like I said, first off here, we are going to look at my calls from last week. This is my tweet before the week for my running back stardom sit-ems last week. So at the top, I stayed outside of the top 10 running backs overall, and I select stardoms. And on the bottom, I take one giant, top 10 running back that is the top 10 running back from week 1 and put him as a sit-em. So I hit all 5 starts, man. Pacheco, Brian Robinson, Josh Jacobs, James Cook, Derrick Henry, all money. Sits, my bold sit was Aaron Jones against the 49ers, absolute money there. Rashad White was another crazy sit-em call. That one hit. Travis Etienne was a miss. He hit his late touchdown at the end to save the game there. Tony Pollard looked better than ever. I mean, I don't think I'm going to have him on sit-ems much more often. And Javonte Williams hit over his projection and garbage time receptions. So you can count that one as an X as well, guys. So, heading into week 1 here, Thursday night football, we have the Patriots headed into the Jets against Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be Ramondre Stevenson versus Breece Hall. And these are both starts, man. And I know Antonio Gibson and Braylon Allen both had big games last week, right? But these are not guys you're going to start in a 12-man league or a 14-man league unless you're super deep, like a 18, 20-man league or something like that. But you have to look at it like this, too, as well. With Braylon Allen, Breece Hall got banged up at the end, and then Braylon Allen came in. Week 1, Breece Hall was 88% snap share. So are we going to see it again in week 3? Did he earn a little more playing time with how he played? Yes, he looked great. But this is still going to be the Breece Hall show, and I think he's going to absolutely smash this week for another 20-plus week. On the Ramondre Stevenson side, he's had 2 great matchups to start, guys. And he had the Cincinnati Bengals, who they absolutely crushed. He ran for 120. They had the Seattle Seahawks, who he absolutely crushed again. He ran for 81 and a touchdown. He's seen 8 targets in both games. Now, this is like, I'm going to do a video on sell high, buy low later, but Ramondre Stevenson's schedule coming ahead, guys, is Jets, 49ers, Dolphins, Texans, Jags, Jets, Tennessee, Chicago. Those are all top defenses. This is probably my last week with Ramondre Stevenson as a stardom because the Jets defense has been gashed. I mean, they got gashed by the 49ers week 1. They got gashed by Tony Pollard week 2. So the Ramondre Stevenson with the touches he's getting, he's an absolute start this game, and I like both these running backs in this game. We're heading to the 12th man. The Dolphins and my RB1 on the week, Devon Achane, are headed to Seattle with Skylar Thompson at quarterback. So in this game, this is going to be a full send. You just saw 29 touches from Achane last week, and everyone was telling me, oh my God, he can't be a 3-down running back workhorse. He can't handle the load. This is why he bulked up 20 pounds in the offseason. This is why I'm the highest ranker of Devon Achane on the planet Earth. This is why he's going to be RB1 if he stays healthy on the season. And it's just going to be even better now. You're going to get more dump offs, probably more running work because you have Skylar Thompson at quarterback, and he's going to absolutely eat every single game. His value has skyrocketed through the roof. Now, Raheem Mostert, we don't know if he's going to be out there. It looked like a multiple-week injury. Jalen Wright, I can't put him as a stardom if Achane's out there no matter what. I know Jeff Wilson's banged up, so, I mean, he's definitely a handcuff to be looking at on your waiver wire if he's available. Kenneth Walker side. Now, I put Charbonnet in red here. If K9 plays, this is an absolute smash matchup right here. I mean, you're going to get the opportunities galore because Skylar Thompson's not going to move the ball down the field the whole way, right? So if Kenneth Walker's out there, he's in my top 10 running backs. But if he's not out there, Zach Charbonnet's in my top 15 running backs. This matchup is too good. So Charbonnet's in red for now. But again, if K9 is out and not healthy, this is, recorded on Wednesday. Usually the injuries updates hit about Thursday where it gets real. So if K9 is not out there, you smash Zach Charbonnet into your lineup. Monday Night Football, the do or die game. The Jags are headed to the Buffalo Bills. 0-2, man. Bills are 2-0. This could really just be them running away with the division here if the Bills win this. But Travis Etienne's usage, man. So he's got to get better here. So Tank Bigsby, he went down with I think it was a hammy or something last week. So he's going to be limited this week. Got to pay attention to his injury update here. But still, if I'm looking at this, Travis Etienne's still playing 70% of the snaps, but they're just going pass heavy because they're behind. He's only seen 25 rush attempts in both games, 12 and 13, and he hasn't even cracked over 55 yards yet. Now, the Buffalo defense, this is where they're leaky, is versus the run. Their secondary is lights out. They locked up Tyreek Hill. They locked up Jalen Waddle, even when Tua was out there. This team has been absolutely phenomenal. Opening night, week 1, great defense again. So, this looks like the all-star start right here for Travis Etienne. I just need to see the usage go up a little more because 12, 13 carries is not going to cut it for where I drafted this guy in drafts. Now, for the Bills side, the James Cookie Monster is here, guys. I don't want to hear any more of this rookie running back talk. I said this in 100 videos that this rookie running back class is a handcuff class besides Jonathan Brooks. That's it. Oh, you see, Ray Davis is going to take James Cook's goal line carries. James Cook just had a hat trick at half last week, and he's RB6 overall in the season. You're starting James Cook every single game. His pass work is absolutely phenomenal. His snap share is in the top 5. He is an absolute stud running back that should have been drafted higher, 100%. The Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, is now the quarterback headed to Las Vegas. And this, guys, is going to be that game where it's going to trap up your season right here. And I'm going to explain why here in a minute. So if you follow Coach Speak Index or any of that on Twitter, you should. It's a great follow. They give you all the coach's inside information. They give you the percentage of the coach's, probability of it being true. And if you watched anything that you saw this week, Antonio Pierce, I'm going to talk about the Raiders first here because I don't really want to talk about the Panthers. Antonio Pierce has said that they are going to feed Zamir White 25 plus touches here, guys. Now let's go back and look at week 1 here, the Panthers defense, and they lost their superstar in Brian Burns, right? They have no one out there really on defense. Week 1, Alvin Kamara had 20 points at half. Jamal Williams dropped 20 points, 40-plus points on the rushing defense week 1 for Carolina. We go to the Chargers. J.K. Dobbins drops another 100-plus yard game, 20-point game there. Gus Edwards still has 18 carries for 75 yards. They get ran over for 200 yards again. The Raiders are going to plow the Panthers with the run game in this game. And you better goddamn make sure that you have Zamir White in your starting lineup this week. I know it's been a rough first 2 games. The snap share hasn't been there, but he is about to get fed like a machine this week. Alexander Madison, I have in the wrong spot. Let me move him down. I do not have him as a start this week. Going to the Panthers side, man, I can't, in my right state of mind, ever say to start any Panther. I think that Andy Dalton will open this offense up. It will look better. I hope Deontay Johnson gets more involved. The Raiders' run D is nasty. They held Derrick Henry the best they could in the game where they were down, and they were pounding Henry on him, and they still held him under 100, which was impressive. And Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders, man, they need to get Jonathan Brooks back out there. This is ugly to watch for the Panthers. This is a bad product on the field for the NFL, and I just feel bad for Panther fans, man. The 0-2 Ravens are headed to Jerry's World to play the Cowboys this week, who are 1-1, and this game is a big one, boys. I'm going to be watching this game locked in as one of my favorite games to watch of the week. Now, Derrick Henry, this guy's always a must start. Look at last week. He had 85 yards and a touchdown, and if the Ravens get ahead, they've shown that they are just going to pound the King Henry just like the Titans did for multiple years. Now, the interesting thing here, though, as well, is Justice Hill is getting 50% snaps here. It's a good game plan, but obviously they're 0-2, so it's not working to keep Henry healthy like they're trying to do, I guess, is what you would say with him getting 50% snaps. He's a deep dart throw like DFS or, 18, 20-man league. He's getting production, but he's just not startable in a 1 QB league, 12-man league. Cowboys side, it's over. It's done. The talk is over. I told you when Zeke fell into the end zone week 1, he looked sluggish. They're getting the Ravens defense. This is an absolute do not play any Cowboys running backs. And if you can, try and package them for any deal you can get because it doesn't look like it's going to get better anytime soon. even Dowdle can't find a hole. Zeke is absolutely slow as I've ever seen him be, and you haven't even seen Dalvin Cook out there yet. But I mean, I don't think anything's come from him. He's turned it into age 32 as well here, or age 30 as well here, and I don't want anything to do with this Cowboys running back room. But I've also been saying that all year, so I mean, nothing's changed there on that front. Rule the jungle. The Cincinnati Bengals are looking to get out of an 0-2 hole here, and there's no better opponent than the Washington Commanders with how bad their defense is. And before I dive into it here, here's what we had to look at before with Zach Moss. So Zach Moss, and this is why I had 0% of Chase Brown. I have like 2% in best ball and 0% in any of my dynasty leagues or redraft leagues or anything like that. Zach Moss just played 80% of the snaps, guys. 80. Now you're going to get the Commanders. This is going to be where Zach Moss rumbles in the jungle and has a massive, massive game here on Monday night. And I love this start this week. And most people are looking at it like they don't. This is going to be the perfect matchup for Zach Moss. And I'm smashing him everywhere. And Chase Brown, man, I try to tell people, man, he's just not a back that's going to be a 3-down back. He's a scat back. But, I mean, you can't drop him yet, but I'm definitely trying to package him and get rid of him if I can right now. Now, heading to the Commanders side. And you guys are going to think I'm crazy here. Brian Robinson was my number one target at running back of value. He's a must-start every single week. He looks like an absolute stud out there. He looks so much faster since being shot in the leg last year. It's crazy. Now, for Austin Eckler, he has produced 2 10-point games here in a row, right? 11.5 last week. But it's like a garbage time big pass down the sideline that he takes for 40 yards saves his day. Why I don't like the start here is because just volume. I mean, he's averaging 46% snaps on the year. That's not something I want to put in my starting lineup unless I'm super desperate. Like I have tons of injuries, like I'm missing Cup or I'm missing A.J. Brown. I didn't throw a flex play in. That's fine. Okay, he might get you 7-8 points. But he's not a very strong start to me at all. I don't even have it in yellow because I don't even like to put it as a mid-start because he doesn't even have over half the snaps. And if you're not paying 50% of the snaps, I don't really want you in my lineup. So that's the way I look at that. I know some people are going to think it's crazy that I have Austin Eckler on a sit, but he doesn't get the volume. So I don't like it as a start this week. Sunday night football matchup. The Kansas City Chiefs are headed to Hotlanta for the Dirty Birds. And I'm super excited to see this game for this reason and this reason only. And prayers up to Isaiah Pacheco, man. Fibula, 5 to 7 weeks. But if you own Isaiah Pacheco right now, let me give you a little insight here. Jalen Waddle had this same injury last year. Took him 11 weeks, and he was never the same. And he's a wide receiver. And you know how Pacheco runs, right? So, I mean, even if he comes back late in the season, it's very sketch, and I'm not going to really be super excited for Isaiah Pacheco the rest of the season. And I hate to say it because I had him as leading rusher of the NFL for yards. So I'm also down bad there as well. Now, why I'm excited? Let's get back to this point here. So P. Ryan, don't buy into it. He's not going to do it. This guy right here, I just don't know yet. Carson Steele. So he was my waiver wire target. I hope you guys targeted him. I saw him go for some crazy fab amounts in my league. I saw him go for about a 90% wad in one of my leagues, which is nuts. But this man is the fan favorite. They're selling Steele, hair for the fans. Everything. People are going to be rocking at this game. I know it's in Atlanta, so it'll be even crazier when they get back to Kansas City. But I don't know to say start him or sit him yet because I don't know how the rotation works. They also brought in Kareem Hunt as well, which he's on the practice squad. He's about to turn age 29. Could be relevant. We just don't know yet. I think you're going to see, Samaji in the pass down back here again as well. I mean, Samaji's had no carries on the season, guys. 0. So I don't know why people were so high on getting Samaji. P. Red Carson still came in and took all 7 carries last week when Pacheco went down. But I don't know to say start him or sit him yet because I want to see it. And the Falcons defense is pretty good. On to the Falcons side, dude. Bijan Robinson looks incredible. He just hasn't found the end zone yet, guys. I mean, I wish I took him number 1 with what I'm seeing from how he looks. He looks like the best running back in football. He looks like an absolute demon. He runs just so hard, and he just looks so smooth doing it. I can't explain it. And you're always going to start this guy every single week. Tyler Algier, though, saw a little more usage last week than I thought he would. I mean, he saw none in week 1, and all of a sudden in week 2 he saw a little more. But that could be because, they were finally getting some first downs, getting the offense, really give Bijan a little rest here. no worry there. Bijan's always a smash start. And Carson Steele, man, I'm interested to see how this game goes with Carson Steele because I'm rooting for him. Chicago Bears are headed into the Indianapolis Colts this week, and here is your time to go get DeAndre Swift and start him right now. This is the first time all year I've had him on my sit-ems, both videos before, week 1, week 2, and he wasn't just on the sit-em, he was on my tweet as a must-sit player 100%. Now, you're going to get the Indianapolis Colts, guys. Week 1, Joe Mixon, RB2, 30 points. They crushed them, right? Week 2, with Malik Willis at quarterback, when they knew the Packers couldn't pass and the Packers were just going to pound the run 52 times, they still ran him over. Now, DeAndre Swift finally gets his first good matchup of the season, and he is going to explode. He played Tennessee and Houston to start off. Those are very, my bad, my throat is coughed. Very, very tough opponents. Now DeAndre Swift is on my smash start. He's finally in green for the first time this season, and I love the DeAndre Swift play this week. Now, headed to the Colts side. If you guys saw my running back ranking video to start with, I got a couple crazy comments on there, but that's fine. Jonathan Taylor is not a smash start for me this week. I know this is your first round pick. I know you're not going to bench Jonathan Taylor. That's not what I'm saying. You're obviously going to play the guy. You're hoping he falls in the end zone. Bears not allowed to rush in TD. And the Bears have only allowed 200 rush yards total in 2 games. This defense is for real. They are nasty. They are going to get after Anthony Richardson. They are going to heckle the hell out of the run-pass option. They have great defenders on the outside, great safeties up top, great linebackers, great interior pressure. I do not like the Jonathan. I'm not putting Jonathan Taylor in my DFS lineups, anything like that. I'm not saying, sit your superstar running back. I'm saying I'm just expecting a lower game here for Jonathan Taylor, and that is why I ranked him so low on my running backs video before. Man, it looks like Jordan Love is practicing today, and he's going to try to fight to come back week 3 against the Tennessee Titans off that crazy knee injury that some of us thought were like, man, his season is over. Then he had like a 4 to 7 week timetable, and all of a sudden he's coming back. These injuries are crazy this year, man. I've seen people cart it off and come back in a second into the game, so it's very, very strange to me how the injuries are working this year. But Josh Jacobs now is like the running back you want to go get 100%. I mean, Marshawn Lloyd to IR, Emmanuel Wilson, their A.J. Dillon season is over. This is going to be the full Josh Jacobs effect every single game, and he's a smash start no matter what the lineup is, just because pure volume for the rest of the season. On to the Titans side, I was wrong here last week, man. I had Tony Pollard on a sit-em. He actually came through. He looks a lot healthier. Like we talked about at the beginning of the season. So if you follow any of the content, I was like, last year Tony Pollard was hurt and he still rushed for 1,000 yards. Now he looks like a healthy Tony Pollard. Tyjae Spears, though, I'm going to put in yellow. He did get banged up in the game a little bit. Last week he came out in the second half. But I'm not putting him as a full sit-em. I want to see. They said he's expected to be fine on the injury update. I was just checking it right now. But he's still getting like decent enough work to give you like 7 to 8 points if you need a desperate flex pick because of injuries. So I'm not going to put him on a full sit-em. He does get receiving work. He's got 6 targets over 2 games, 6 catches. And he hasn't gotten loose yet, but he's got enough talent to be a flexible play if you're in a desperation spot here. Here we go, baby. The Philadelphia Eagles are headed to the Superdome to play the Saints, who are red hot, 90 points in 2 straight games combined. And they've blown teams out and never even played in the second half in the fourth quarter of games. It's absolutely crazy to me what I'm seeing here. Saquonda forever. Barkley is exactly who I thought he was. I ranked him as my number 2 running back on the season. That is one of my claims to fame I'm going to use this year because no one had him this high. Kenneth Gainwell, we don't need to talk about there. He's more of a, maybe an injury happens to Saquon and you might want to handcuff him, but I don't really because there's probably a, timeshare between him and Will Shipley. On to the Saints side, the number 1 running back in fantasy football, Alvin, AK-41 Kamara, is here. Looks like he's 23, 66 points in 2 games, and he hasn't played the second half or the fourth quarter. So think about that right now. Alvin Kamara missed the whole second half of game 1 versus the Panthers. Missed the whole, or I'd say like 8 minutes of the fourth quarter. He played a little bit of that drive. But how many points could he have if he played in a full game here? We could be looking at a 40-point average right now for Alvin Kamara. This offense with Clint Kubiak is absolutely flying around. Derek Carr looks locked in like you've never seen before. And Jamal Williams and Kendra Miller still on IR. Not really. I wouldn't really think about Jamal, but here's a little fun fact here. So when we get to matchups here, so, say the Saints are playing a team that you think they're going to blow out, right? And you have some running back injuries or, some problem or flex play or wide receivers out or you're missing A.J. Brown, Cooper Kupp, all that. And so the next 3 games coming up, no. But if I'm looking at week 7 here, like Denver, like the Chargers, Carolina, week 7, 8, and 9, Kendre Miller will be back off IR. These are games where the Saints could just torch these teams, and Kendre Miller could get a 20-point game like Jamal Williams did in week 1 versus Carolina. So Kendre Miller, man, keep your eye on this. And if Alvin Kamara gets an injury too as well, he'll be the guy. But Kendre Miller just gets hurt all the time, but it's something to pay attention to, and these are like the fantasy insights that you don't get normally. So I'm trying to give you a little deeper look into it because they may be startable when they crush teams, man. The Chargers are headed into the steel curtain, and this is going to be a sluggish, defensive, hard-nosed hitting battle right here, guys. And this is so. Remember what I said at the beginning? I take the top 10 running back overall. I make a bold call. I make a bold sit-em in the top 10. And J.K. Dobbins is not a guy that I want to start. He's running back 4 overall. He's leading the NFL in rushing total yards this year right now through 2 weeks. And I don't want to start Gus Edwards either. The steel curtain defense is absolutely lights out, bananas good. And they've only allowed 153 rushing yards in 2 games. And think about how much they've been on the field. Like, you haven't gotten a lot of touchdown drives. You've gotten a lot of field goals, with Justin Fields and Chris Boswell. But they're out there all the time, and they still stuff everything, man. And then when you look at the Chargers side, it's the same thing. So Najee Harris as well is another guy. These are both on my tweet in my top 5 sit-ems. And Jaylen Warren is a guy that I'm interested in as a possible flex play over these guys because of the pass work that he will see in the Chargers leak out more pass yards than the normal defenses when they stop the run. So I'm not starting J.K. Dobbins in this game. I'm not starting Najee Harris. I mean, look at this. This is the number 4 and number 6 rush defenses on the year. They both allowed under 162 yards both. I don't want anything to do with this game in the run game here. And I think it's just going to be an ugly, ugly field goal game here. And like I said in previous videos, if you're looking for a kicker in this game, these are 2 kickers I like a lot because I think there's going to be a ton of field goals here. The red zone is going to lock up, and there's not going to be that many touchdowns in this game. The Denver Broncos and the number 1 high-flying offense is headed into Tampa Bay. Never mind. The Denver Broncos and the worst offense in the NFL is headed into Tampa Bay. And I don't want anything to do with this team for the rest of the season, period. Now, I had Javonte Williams on the sit-em last week. Obviously, he beat his projection in garbage time with dump-offs. And he saw the field more than Jaleel McLaughlin in week 2. I got to give him that. But in this game, I still don't want to start Javonte Williams. If I own him right now, I'm trying to sprinkle whatever little dust I can out of his little performance last week that got him over projection to maybe get some package value because this offense is going to be a struggle all year long. I mean, they may win 2 games. I mean, I've been saying all year I don't want anything to do with the Broncos, and you can see why. On the Bucs side, so Rachaad White got a little banged up. He did practice today, so it looks like he's going to be out there. And this is all systems go. The Broncos have been ran over by both teams. They're going to get ran over all year. They got crushed week 1. They got crushed week 2. They're going to get crushed week 3. And if Tampa Bay gets ahead in this game, say they get up like 17-20, you may even get to see a little more Bucky Irving here. So I probably should have put Bucky in yellow. I mean, and you got Rachaad White a little banged up too. So, I mean, mistake there. He's in red. I'd rather have him in yellow. But this is going to be an absolute smash play. Any team that plays the Broncos, you're starting every single player that you have. The division rival San Francisco 49ers are headed into SoFi Stadium against the Los Angeles Rams. And man, I hope you've been subscribed to my content since the beginning of the year. Because look around, man. It's 49er everything here. I've been telling everyone about Jordan Mason for years. And my guy is here. He has arrived. Second leading rusher in the NFL, RB7. Christian McCaffrey looks to be out another 5 weeks or 4 to 5 weeks here. We don't have the full update yet. But here's what's crazy. And most people are looking at their dynasty, and they don't want to pay that premium of what his value is worth right now because they're like, oh, he's only going to play 4 to 5 games. You don't even know that yet. You don't even know how it's going to look with CMC. You don't even know CMC's injury. Fully the Niners have hidden a lot. And next year, he's a free agent. You think the 49ers are going to have money to pay this guy next year with Purdy's contract coming up and paying Ayuk and paying Debo and everything we just did? There's no way. So all the like tweets and comments I get on Jordan Mason's value, it's through the roof. Go get this man right now. He's about to torch the LA Rams. I'm going to call 150 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game. Headed to the Rams side. This is very bad, man. And I got Kyren Williams at the top. My fault. In the switches. So Kyren Williams is going to absolutely get fed like a machine here, guys, right? I'm going to have to move Corums too. So you lose Cooper Kupp. You lose Puka Nacua. You got 4 linemen out, right? Everything is going against you here. But I'm putting Kyren in green just because I think they're going to bell cow the shit out of him in this game. Like, he's going to see 90% touches, probably 25 touches. Even if they're down, you'll probably see Blake Corum if the game gets to garbage time like last time. But, I mean, all those Corum truthers have gone real quiet lately. Like we all said, man, like any smart fantasy football player would tell you that if you put up CMC numbers the year before, why the hell would a rookie come and take your job when you're 23 years old? It just never made sense to me. Blake Corum is never going to see the field unless Kyren gets hurt. And that's just facts, man. The electrifying game of the week, man. The Arizona Cardinals are hosting the Detroit Lions this week. And the Arizona Cardinals just looked absolutely lights out. But again, it was against a beat-up Rams team. But still, that's a division rival game between the Rams and Cardinals. And usually they're close. So it's a good sign to see the Cardinals break out and see Maserati Mav go nuts. Now, on the Lions side, the number 1 offensive line, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are must-start running backs every single week. And here you go. Montgomery, 17 points week 1, 17 points week 2. Jahmyr Gibbs, 17 points, 17 points. The split's going to be there, but it doesn't matter. These guys just produce at running back, low-end 1 numbers, or, Jahmyr Gibbs probably going to pop a couple 25, 30-point games here as well, too. You're starting these guys every single week, and they look absolutely phenomenal as a dual running back tandem. Heading to the Arizona Cardinals side, Trey Benson's going to take James Conner's job. I heard it all year long. James Conner's running back 8. He looks amazing. Just dropped 20 points. Trey Benson looks slow. Just ran 11 carries for 8 yards. Looked like he's running in mud again, just like preseason. Now, this is going to be a tougher matchup for James Conner here. The Detroit front is nasty. But I still like James Conner as a start because this offense is going to have to score points to keep up because their defense is so bad. And this is like the game I'm plugged into, just like the Ravens-Cowboys game here. I cannot wait to watch this game. The battle of the 2-0s, man. The Houston Texans are headed to the Minnesota Vikings, and this game is going to be a different game for me than I think normally right here, right? So we don't know about Joe Mixon yet, so we'll start off there. If Joe Mixon is out there, he didn't practice today, neither did Dameon Pierce, right? So if you are looking at your waiver wire, maybe snag Cam Akers, but I think Joe Mixon's going to be out there, but again, it's not official. And Dameon Pierce looks like he could be out there as well. So we don't know how it's going to shake out yet at running back. But Jordan Mason just torched him for 100-plus yards in a TD and could have had another TD if the flag didn't happen. So, I mean, this running back there, this defense is very, very beatable on the running side of the football here. And if Joe Mixon is out there, you're 100% starting this guy. Now, this is another one of my sit-ems here, guys. Just like last week, I had Aaron Jones as the top 10 running back on a sit. Aaron Jones is 100% a sit against the Houston Texans front. So is Ty Chandler. This defense up front is nasty, guys. Very, very nasty. So they've only allowed 175 yards total, which means wide receivers, quarterback, running back in 2 games. So that's under 80 yards for every single position. And one running back doesn't get all that work by himself, right? So I don't want anything to do with this game up front for Aaron Jones, Ty Chandler. I think Sam Darnold's going to be in for a hell of a game here. He's been balling out there. I got to give him credit. But I'm sitting Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler. And if I have Aaron Jones, he got a little banged up yesterday, man. He was my do not draft running back. I would try to start to make a move, man. That knee's got 5 MCL sprains. The foot's been hurt. The right hammy's been hurt. All on the right leg, man. He's almost 30 years old. Just a little insight. I try to get out now if I can. The grunge game of the week. The New York Giants are headed into Cleveland, coming off a big win versus Jacksonville last week. And this defense, guys, is just something else, man. It's just not to be reckoned with. They've only allowed 229 rush yards up front, and they barely move the ball at all. So this defense has been on the field a ton, and they absolutely get after it. They're super nasty. Now, I'm going to start with the Browns here. Jerome Ford only played 44% of the snaps last week. You saw more Deonta Foreman. I just tweeted that Deonta Foreman may be a flex play here as well. The weather right now looks bad in the game. Of course, we have a couple days to go, so we don't know what the weather is going to be. It changes all the time. So don't freak out like the weather because you see it on your fantasy football app right now. But it does look bad right now. And this could be a full run fest. And Deonta Foreman and Jerome Ford could run this team over. The Giants are very susceptible to the run. They're one of the worst run defenses on the year so far. Well, I wouldn't say it's their run defense. Their offense doesn't move the ball that well, so they get ran on. I mean, Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler with the worst offensive line in the Commanders. They were ranked 32nd. Sorry, the Saints were 32nd. The Commanders were 31st coming in, right? They just ran for 170 on the Giants. Now you're going to get a top 3 offensive line with the Cleveland Browns. They're going to run all over this team. Jerome Ford, and I don't have Deonta Foreman's name up there, but look on your waiver wire right now. He is someone I'm willing to flex over even certain players. On the Giants side, this is my number one part of my big tweet again. One of my top 5 sit-ups is Devin Singletary. I had him as a smash start last week versus Commanders. He smashed. Now he's going to get smashed. This is not a good situation for Devin Singletary to be in. I don't want him in any of my lineups this week. I don't even think he cracks like 6-7 points. Maybe if he gets some catches, it's going to be really, really ugly. This Browns D is not to be messed with, man. Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That is the end of my stardom, sit-em, running backs, every single matchup, guys. Before we head into the next video and head out of here, make sure you smash that like, hit that subscription, turn that bell on. I will be live tomorrow. I'll be live all weekend. I'll be live on Monday. I have shows with other content creators and stuff like that as well coming. If you guys have any fantasy football comments, questions, anything you guys want to ask in the comments, drop it in there. I will get to them as fast as I can. I am here to help you win your weekly matchups and get you that ultimate goal of the trophy. And if you guys want to check out my quarterback or rankings, all those videos are done before. And I am going to try and get my wide receivers and tight end videos out today, guys, so you have all the content before Thursday kickoff. Thank you guys for all the support. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. I can't thank you guys enough. It's been an amazing journey. I'll catch you guys in the next episode, man. SleezBall out.